Well, it's the final game of day two of the Canada Ball Hockey Junior National Championships here this evening, and we have two teams with two very different stories as we see Newfoundland against Team Alberta here in the U20 girls division. For Newfoundland coming into this, it is a 2-0 record so far through this tournament. And the inverse of that for Alberta. So certainly looking to try to overcome that, but that is a tough task against the Newfoundland side that has done very well through their first two games. Mark Shelley with you here this evening. Glad you could join us. If you're just joining us for just this game, you missed a entertaining one just before it as the New Tecumseh Extreme took down Team Manitoba North Stars by a score of 5-1. And in the early goings of this one, Maggie Jones, the goaltender for Newfoundland, will set up to her left-hand side in this defensive zone faceoff as Alberta will try to win this back and set up here in the attacking zone. Four days of almost pool play for all these teams, concluding on Saturday, which will be Championship Saturday. We'll see some gold medal games, mixed in the bronze medal games as well. As Alberta sets up here in the early stages of this first period, just outside the blue line. There's a long throw to the slot, but that gets intercepted, and now Newfoundland can bring this forward. There's a lifted ball ahead that bounces off out of the corner, and a quick change for Newfoundland as they'll sprint their forwards back to the bench. Newfoundland's most recent game, as that's covered up by Hannah Lutz Berube. That most recent game, an 8-1 win, followed up by a previous win in their opening game over Manitoba, which was a 3-2 win. On the flip side of things, it was a 4-2 loss for Alberta in their first game against Withrow Park. And Team BC got the better of them 4-1 in their most recent contest yesterday afternoon. 13:05 to go here. Scoreless first period. Newfoundland in the attacking end. But it's stolen away here by Alberta. And they can work this forward. Newfoundland has a lone player forward. And a hard fought turning delivery from Cassie Drover into the middle. And that's nothing for the team in white. So they'll take over back on their own side of the rink and they'll try to move this forward down the right-hand side. Backhanded into the middle. The intended play there for Brooke Hiptich. And icing is called. 12:19 to go here in the first period. Still looking for the opener. Newfoundland will have this offensive zone face-off. Out to take it, the 4 of Jenny Simpson. One back by Alberta. And they'll try to play this out, but kept in by Newfoundland. Just high of the corner, played up the wall. Alberta's able to get there. They play it back. Needing to be careful here as some pressure starts to mount from Newfoundland and white. Alberta will take it back, under 12 to go here in the first. Up the boards, pinch play there. Trying to squeak it out is Brokenshire. Now Brokenshire streaks to the goal as Alberta sets up just inside the red line. And a loose ball through the neutral zone. We'll see it pushed back toward the Newfoundland end. Just over 11 minutes to go here in the opening frame. As we see icing assessed and the face-off down in the Alberta end. 11:27 to be exact. Rimmed over to the far side corner. Newfoundland setting up. Here's a backhand leave along the goal line. There's a throw to the middle. That deflects over into the slot. Alberta's able to move it over to the near side. They're trying to get it out after Haley Ryan had worked down low. At the red line, this is rifled right back in. Newfoundland will touch up. And they'll start the charge again as Alberta takes over as Kayla Robbins tries to move this into the neutral zone and out, but instead it is a force back into their own end for Alberta, and Newfoundland steals it away. There's a leave into the high slot. Charging forward was a white sweater, and it just juggles away. Kept in by the 13 of Allie Spencer. It's pushed down low. A backhand leave toward the slot. Never makes it there. Hits a deflection and bounces away. Over to the far side wall now. Alberta trying to get this clear. A shoulder bump muscled off of it is Rutledge. Swept around. A quick streak over for Babcock. She'll keep it forward, so that allows her teammates to go to work. 10 to go here in the scoreless first. Looking for the icebreaker. In these two teams' third game of this tournament. Mentioned it earlier, Newfoundland looking to stay perfect so far. A perfect 2-0 start. Just the opposite for Alberta. .46 to go. And Newfoundland has the offensive zone face-off. Trying to win it back is the 23 of Drover. Julia Butler works forward to pinch it ahead, and Drover now cuts to the goal. Someone lost a glove. That was Drover. As Alberta tries to break the press and move this to the red line, but not out. Newfoundland will start the charge as we approach 9 minutes to go in this opening frame. Four blue sweaters swarm that Newfoundland player forward. Now it's swept up the near side boards, kept in at the red line. Shuffling ahead is the 16 of Hardy. Now down low. Snapped into the middle. There's a quick turning chance. It sees it deflect off a body all the way back to the red line. And it stays in. So Newfoundland continues to work here off the near side boards. Pushed back to the blue line, the red line. There's a shot through traffic in the C's part at the last second. And Lutz Berube can hold on with 8.5 to go here in the scoreless first period. Six goals in the game just before this. I mentioned it. New Tecumseh Extreme taking the 5-1 win in this same division over a Manitoba side who certainly had a number of chances but just couldn't convert. Did convert twice in that 3-2 loss to this Newfoundland side to open up the tournament. And holding on is Lutz Berube again with 8:02 to go. So just about midway through this first period, Newfoundland has had much more of the sustained pressure, but there have been sparks that have led to some chances the other direction. But for the most part, it is Newfoundland who has had the better opportunities to try to find this first goal. Alberta had moved it forward, but now have to backtrack toward their own end. 7:40 to go here in the first. Still looking for the first one to put on the board. That's going to be icing. It'll bring it back down to our right. For a face-off in the Alberta end. There's a feed to the middle, and that rolls off the pads of Lutzburg-Roubaix. Newfoundland will continue their offensive zone presence. 7:20 to go. Fed to the high slot. There's a quick turning chance. That pops into the air and just rainbows down to the near side of the post. Shuffling. Snapped into the middle. There's a save. Oh, and then it trickles through the pads, and Newfoundland takes the 1-0 lead here at the midway point. 7:05 to go here in the first period. And Newfoundland strikes first. It's 1-0. That was a quick turning shot from the stick of Haley Ryan, who was able to break the deadlock, make it a 1-0 game. And Newfoundland is off and running in their quest to improve to 3-0. Now Alberta looking for a quick response. They were able to take that restarting face-off into the attacking end. Newfoundland will take over on their own side. They'll snap this forward. Arm is up for icing. No white sweater anywhere nearby. So 6:27 left to go. We'll go down to our left. Off the restart, Manitoba looking to try to tie this thing up and build themselves some sustained offensive zone presence. Trying to reach the stick in there and unsuccessful in doing so was Reese Mempham. Now off the near side boards, Manitoba charges ahead. Or excuse me, Alberta. Manitoba played in the previous game. They dig for it out of the corner. Still they battle, trying to pull this free. FM waiting up the board, but instead it's Newfoundland who were able to break from left to right. Brooklyn Kitchen played it over to the near side corner. There's a backhand leave into the middle, and Lutzburg-Roubaix will hold on. They will allow her to play on as there was a change happening, so she was able to slide that off, but then quickly stolen away at the blue line. There's the shot that comes high and wide. Elizabeth Edmonds. She was able to dish that off and then fed backside. She'll be the first to get there. She rotated over to that far side corner. She's tied up. In flies Drover to try to bail her out. There's a quick turning chance. That gets blocked away at point blank range for Julia Butler. 4.5 to go here in this first period. Haley Ryan, the difference maker, making it 1-0, and now an icing here against Alberta. Off the restart. Alberta trying to move this out. And now down this left-hand wing, they can start the charge. McDonald fed the middle. Newfoundland is there to sweep it away. Lofted diagonally over to the near side boards. That will be brushed all the way back. Icing not a factor here. It can be picked up by Woitis. Now stolen away down low. Goodyear trying to cut back over to the far side corner. Looking to spin this down low. She gets it right back, but mishandles it. Falls back for Babcock. She gets tied up just outside the benches. And then left into the slot. Here's a shot from the high slot. And that gets shouldered away by Lutz Berube and all the way down. Icing the call against Alberta yet again. 3:34 to go. And Newfoundland again continues that pressure in the offensive end. Strong forechecking, forcing the turnovers, jumping to those stretch passes, intercepting, and being able to break right at the blue line to set themselves up. Some good opportunities to try to extend this 1-0 lead into a 2-goal advantage. Less than 3.5 to go here in the first. Back and forth across the red line they go in front of the benches. And the team in the white sweaters, Newfoundland, back to get it. They look to break out. Alberta is there. This deflects over to the far side boards. It'll stay in play. Shuffled to the corner. As more blue sweaters swarm and try to keep this ball in their possession. Real wrestling match below the goal line. Jones looks over her left shoulder and sees the ball back to the red line. And she can stand up and take a breather as Alberta has to work back into their own end. 2.5 to go here in the first. Newfoundland sees this with a takeaway right out in front, and there's an in-tight save. Great reactionary stop from point-blank range by Lutz Berube. And it keeps Newfoundland off the board. A miscue out of their own end for Alberta nearly led to a second goal for Newfoundland. They get bailed out by their goaltender, but there again, the forecheck, forcing those turnovers, creating those quick slot feeds that can really be turned to gold if you're truly an alchemist. But right there, it was the blue and gold that came away victorious with the body of their goaltender. 2 to play here in the first. 1-0 Newfoundland. Haley Ryan, the only goal scorer. But Newfoundland not done yet as they bring this forward. Still setting up here in the offensive end. This is quickly snapped toward the middle, batted down out of the air, held onto by Lutz Berube. That was just a quick turn and get a piece of the blade on the ball by Heidi Newberry, and it just went well into the air and an easy snag for the Alberta goaltender. 1:51 to go here in the first. As time continues to tick down in the opening period. Newfoundland trying to squeeze one in before time expires and not only give themselves momentum, but really try to put a quick deflating jab right before the bell. There's a low circle feed that gets negated by a defender's stick, kept in at the red line. Oh, and that nearly crept across, but Alberta will maintain possession in the attacking end. Now they try to recollect it. It's brought forward. Great reach of the stick there to keep that one alive off the near side boards. Down into the corner. Foot races on. Spun up the near side boards. Newfoundland trying to bring it out. A cut to the inside. There's a soft dump forward. Change is coming as juggling this is Emily Hardy. But she's able to deliver this forward. She does so a bit off the mark. So we get a whistle and icing is called. 45 seconds left to go in this opening frame. Time winds down here in this first period. It has been a period heavily dominated by the offensive zone presence of Newfoundland with occasional spurts for Alberta. And there's an in tight chance walking to the crease, and it will not go. Newfoundland nearly made it 2-0. They were looking for that last quick jab before the round ends. That was a great cut there by the 87 of Shayla Saunders. She just had all sorts of room to walk out in front. There's another turning chance, and the rebound is collected and put into the back of the net. And with 3.4 seconds to go, that is a huge deflating blow to this Alberta side as Newfoundland strikes again and increases their lead to 2. He'll drop the ball for this face-off and get us back underway, and then we're going to hear the horn. That'll do it for the first 15 minutes, and a late goal for Newfoundland adds to their advantage. It's 2-0 after 1 second period coming up in just a bit. They flip ends of the rink as we get set for period number 2. It is a 2-0 Newfoundland lead over Team Alberta. We'll put a fresh 15 minutes on the clock. Mark Shelley with you here this evening. Last game of the day before day 3 gets underway tomorrow morning. As the restarting face-off sees the ball into the Newfoundland end. Alberta tries to play this forward, but now a fast break. Odd numbers moving forward down that right-hand side. There's the shot turned away by Lutz Berube out in front, and there are 2 blue sweaters to try to impede the progress of Newfoundland in the white sweaters. Drover was able to keep it in. She'll play it over to the far side now where Butler works. Across the floor over to the near side as Alberta tries to break out. They'll sweep this in. Sydney Howard will chase after it. But instead, Edmonds is there for Newfoundland. Spun over to the far side. It can be taken over by the 5 of Hardy. Off the near side, a sweeping ball into the middle. That bounces around. They'll take it off the backside of the cage. The initial shot coming from Babbitt. Now fed back to Woitas. She can't get her shot through traffic, so a quick break the other direction for Newfoundland. They'll work behind the goal. Over to the far side, low circle, thrown cross ice over to the, cross the floor, over to the near side boards. Picked up just outside the blue line, and that was brought forward by Rachel Hardy. There's a low shot that sees Lutz Berube quickly look over that right shoulder to make sure it didn't bounce away from her. Once she's able to find it between the pads, she'll hold on and pick up a face-off. Just about 12 and a half to go here in this second period. Both goals coming back in the first. Took a while to find the opener, but after that, the second came in the very late stages with 3.4 seconds left to go in the period. Trying to see if Newfoundland can ride that extra boost of momentum of the late goal, or if Alberta will use the pep talk in the intermission to look for a quick answer. 12 to go here in the second period. A big tie-up of bodies. There's a backhander into the middle, and that gets steered wide by Lutz Berube. Tie-up of sticks. Alberta wants a call. They're not going to get it from the referee. This is brushed up the wall. Alberta will keep it in. Or excuse me, Alberta will break the other way. 11:42 to go. Back into their own end. Alberta will take it, and they'll try to play it up the near side boards. Hannison was able to usher it forward, but illegally so. So the icing is assessed down to the left. They battle for it out of the Alberta end, and the blue and gold go diagonally over to the benches to try to move this forward. So icing not a factor. Newfoundland the first to get there. 11:08 to go here in the second. As we tick ever so slightly toward the midway point. There's a quick cut to the crease, and Lutz Berube is there, steers it wide off the stick, and it's rimmed around by her teammates in the neutral zone. This can be picked up, so icing waved off as that puck was initially heading all the way down. And a big tie-up just inside the red line, down to the right side ever so slightly. Referee has seen enough of that. He'll blow it dead, and the two teams will separate and cross paths again as they set up for this face-off with fresh personnel in both colors. Alberta wins the face-off. They'll backhand this forward. Newfoundland quick to the ball on the dump in into their defensive end, and then helps spring them quickly through the neutral zone to get them forward on these attacking zone possession times. Bouncing puck below the goal, left into the crease, covering it up is Lutz Berube, I beg your pardon, and it just rolled away from her, so it was swept wide by a teammate. There's a quick throw. Lutz Berube has trouble with it, but did get a piece of it. It's loose off the near side of the crease. It's swept over to the near side boards, but it deflects out of play with 9.5 to go. After the face-off, that pops over to the far side of the crease and then rolls to the circle. 2 go down on the far side scrum. Now 3 on 2. White sweaters the majority to it out of the attacking end for them. This is brushed ahead but turned over. There's a quick developing shot. Will not go there for Kayla Robbins. I beg your pardon, that was Brooklyn Jefford. And now covered up by Lutz Berube. So no signs of slowing down despite the 2-0 advantage for Newfoundland here in the second period as we approach the midway point. Simpson tries to keep this in after that offensive zone faceoff. Needing to be careful here is Hipditch as her teammates work below the goal line now. Brought forward, Goodyear goes across the neutral zone. Fast break is on and the ball bounces away and Alberta takes over. Icing is the call with 8:53 to go here in the second. Blue and gold of Alberta will be backed into their own end. Alberta trying to vacate their own end. Newfoundland steals it away. There's a quick turning, slicing shot. And finds its way into the corner boards. A cut to the crease. Down low is Lutz Berube to break that up and spring her teammates forward down the near side. At the red line, dispossessed, and they'll work the other way to Newfoundland. There's a quick throw to the inside that deflects to the end boards. Hipditch will get her own ball. Now out of the corner, first to get there was Hardy for Alberta. And there's a quick turn for the 5 of Goodyear, but it rolls off a body out of play. And we'll get a face-off. Haley Ryan, who scored the opener in this game back in the sort of middle stages of that first period. She's able to set her team up here in the offensive end. She'll track over to it out of the corner. Newfoundland with it over the head of Ryan. And Alberta will try to move this out. There's a sweep over to the near side boards by Avery Williams. And Newfoundland is forced back to their own side. Icing is assessed. So some changes here, but the ball will be brought back down to the left. And everyone will set up for the defensive zone drop. We'll try it again. Under 8 to go here in the second period. Last game of the day. Newfoundland up 2-0. Trying to make it a 3-0 start to this championship tournament. As Lutz Berube will hold on for another face-off. Again down to our left. That face-off forces Newfoundland back down to their own side. They'll try to move it up the near side boards. This can be chipped in. And legally, so they will make some changes. And a cross-rink pass takes an odd bounce away from its intended target. Newfoundland takes over. 6:48 to go. As Alberta desperately trying to find something here in this second period. No scoring for either side in this middle frame. Both goals coming back in the first at the midway point, and then 3.4 seconds left. But neither team has found any momentum from that late goal, whether beneficial or not. 6:15 to go. Alberta will keep the ball in at the red line. Snapped forward through traffic, and that's steered wide by Jones. Haven't had to call Jones's name much in this period. And that trend may continue as again comes Newfoundland. There's the drop pass just to the blue line. It's forced over to the near side boards. They'll look to sweep it back. Instead, they'll look to try to find the cutting 21 of Edmonds to that back post. They can't connect, so Edmonds will have to work with it off the end boards, give it off to a teammate. And then Alberta takes over, and they'll look to move forward. 5.5 to go here in the second. Oh, and if that ball just falls ever so favorably just in front of Drover, she may have had an avenue to try to sprint forward, but just couldn't handle it outside the blue line. Cut to the crease, backhander save by Lutz Berube. She'll hold on. And maybe paid a price here. She ditched the helmet in what looks to be maybe some pain. Well, the Alberta goaltender, she's good to go, it looks like. We have just about 5 minutes left to go. .504 to be exact. Final game for Newfoundland tomorrow, 1:45 here locally. They'll take on New Tecumseth Extreme, who were 5-1 winners in the game just before this. While Alberta will see this back into their own defensive end. They'll try to streak this forward. They're looking to pick up their first win. A rifle ball in. We have 4.5 to go here in the second. They dig for it out in front, and sliding over to keep it out is Maggie Jones. And she'll keep the 0 on the board. .415 to go in this period. Time continues to tick away here in the second period as we still have yet to see any further scoring. Under 4 to play. As the ball pops across the half wall on the far side of the rink. And the referees will converse about where this face-off will go. And it looks as though it will be in the neutral zone just in front of the Newfoundland bench. On the restart, Alberta will try to move this forward, and a nice down block to break that up for Hipditch, but ultimately Alberta is still able to bring it forward. 3.5 to go. Off the kick plate on the near side, Jenny Simpson, beg your pardon, Wardman. Icing not a factor. Snaps forward by Hardy. And the same thing at the other end. Icing not available to be called. So Alberta sets up behind their own goal. They'll look for the quick breakout over to the far side wing. Rod across the blue line, dumped in. 2 white sweaters are the first to get there. Rimmed around, waiting up the wall is Pakia Wall. Aptly named. Now snapped forward. There's a spinning one-timer that just goes wide to the corner. Alberta trying to find something here offensively and break this deadlock. A scrum for it out in front. It is forced below the goal line and moved up the wall. Corner of the red line, and that takes a deflection. Great break up there by the Newfoundland forward. And Alberta can do nothing but snap it ahead and try again. 2:06 to go here in the second period. Fed forward, ball drops down, and a backhander chance out in front. There's another opportunity denied by Jones. Newfoundland doing everything they can right now to weather the storm, as there has been a late period surge here by Alberta. A couple of great chances after really nothing to show for it in the majority of this period. Now Wall throws it forward, but Jones will hold on. Some extra pushing and shoving with 95 seconds left to go here in the second period. Face-off comes to the near side of the floor with 1:35 to go. Jones will set up to her left-hand side. Newfoundland wins it, and they'll backhand this forward. Now Alberta charges again. Cutting to the goal was Wardman. As they push it back to the blue line, this gets thrown through traffic, catches a shin, and it is rifled down. Out to play it is the goaltender. And Newfoundland will take over on their own side. Final 52 seconds left to go here in the second period. Neither team has found the back of the net in this frame. Both goals for Newfoundland came back in the first period, midway through, and then with just seconds left to go. And that's going to be an icing, as we'll head back down to the other side of the ring. .43 seconds left to go. And we'll see if, after no scoring, Newfoundland can try to find another late one here. And if they do, that goes from a last-second jab before the round expired to an absolute gut punch, if they can find one, in the next 39 seconds. And maybe an even bigger spark plug for Alberta if they can convert. Fink tries to win this face-off back. Instead, she will brush it forward, and her team will just race after it. With half a minute to go in the period. Coughed up out in front. There's a quick developing chance that will not go, and Alberta knocking on the door again and again, and now a penalty upcoming. Haven't seen many of those. And it looks as though hooking is the call. And this is going to go against Alberta. And they'll send a player to the box. So with 23 seconds left to go, Alberta sends one of their players to the box for the hooking call. And the PK unit is out to finish up this second period. And they hope they can take it into the start of the third. Newfoundland will look to convert here quickly before the buzzer. Back to the point, juggle, given off low, far circle, out in front, they score. That didn't take long for the power play to convert. And it's 3-0 Newfoundland, as they're able to go back and forth across the rink and put it into the back of the net. A power play goal and a late one. 9 seconds left to go in the period. It is 3-0. And now, maybe every once in a while, a little push of the cruise control button. As Molly Gill makes it a 3-0 advantage for Newfoundland, and that'll do it for the period. And A lot to think about in this short intermission for Alberta. Well, through two periods, we have seen 2 goals inside the final 10 seconds of those periods, both coming the way of Newfoundland. The most recent one, 9 seconds left in the second period. The one before that, it was 3.4. And then Haley Ryan, midway through that first period, got us started for Newfoundland. And since it has been 3 straight goals, and a 3-0 advantage as they start the final 15 minutes here on this Wednesday night, day number 2 of the Canada Ball Hockey National Championships. Newfoundland trying to improve to what their scoreline reads in their overall standings, 3-0 if they can come away victorious tonight. They are well on their way in doing that, albeit in the later stages of that second period, there were a flurry of chances for Alberta. Just nothing to show for it. They really started to ramp up the pressure, but time and time again, Maggie Jones came away with the save. Newfoundland will take over on their own side of the ice. Allie Spencer will move it over to the near side. This is spun forward by Saunders. And then that deflects back into the Newfoundland end. They're able to break the press and get it through center. Down the right-hand wing, Newfoundland will track to it on the stick of Drover. She will leave below the goal line for Edmonds, who works over to the far side corner. 13-10 to go here in the third. Backhand leave into the slot and just out of the reach of its intended target. So now a fast break down the left-hand wing. And there's the shot. And negated by Jones. Nearly the first goal for Hannison and this Alberta side, but Jones was there, made the stop, and now Newfoundland sets up in the offensive end. They look to feed the slot. There's a backhander that's held onto by Megan Traversy. .12:33 to go as Traversy will set up to her right-hand side. Story of this game has been the relentlessness of the Newfoundland offense. Lengthy stays in across the blue line. And with the exception of those, really about the last 5 minutes of the second period, they have been able to consistently put together chance after chance and wear down this Alberta defense. And maybe for the amount of time on attack, you would expect maybe a few more goals, which is a testament to how Traversy has performed despite 3 getting by her. Under 12 to go here in regulation. Newfoundland trying to remain perfect so far this tournament. .11:45 to go. Slapped forward. And Alberta will try to streak into the attacking zone, dispossessed, and this can be brought down from left to right by Newfoundland. Left off, Saunders calls for it, but instead, the teammates will have to work over to the far side wing. Now left into the middle, that one bounces around, and Traversy got a piece of it to force it wide. Now she makes another stop, and this one skitters over to the far boards. Thrown to the middle, there's hacked into the air. Traversy reaches out the glove from down in the butterfly and will snag it out of the air with 11:05 to play. Still 3-0. 2-0 after the first, and the late goal to end the period in the second. And that's how we've gotten here. Snap to the far side of the rink. Alberta trying to move this forward. They need to get something going. 3 goals in just about 11 minutes. Certainly not impossible, but the way the continued onslaught of pressure from Newfoundland has presented itself tonight, one has to think that that is becoming a more and more challenging task to complete as time ticks away. Ball's out of play. We'll have a face-off here in the neutral zone. The backs of Newfoundland to their own blue line. Alberta will take it. They'll try to bring this forward. Brokenshire dumped it ahead, shuffling over to get it is Jones. She'll leave off and then work back into her crease as the cavalry arrives to assist in the collection of that ball. It's lifted down and icing is waved off as sliding over to hold on to it was Jones. She thought about dishing it off, but ultimately looked up, saw too much traffic in front of her, and played the conservative route to pick up the whistle. I beg your pardon, that was Traversy. 9:56 to play now. Newfoundland setting up, but quickly stolen away. Alberta will try to bring this down the left-hand wing. Two more come to the aid of the initial blue and gold sweater into the zone. As two dig for it off the near side boards, trying to jar this free. Newfoundland trying to play it out across the line, trailing it and awaiting the pass is Kitchen. This deflects over to the near side. Saunders trying to get there. She's in a dogfight. And we get a whistle with 9:07 to go. And it looks as though we're going to have a penalty here. And Saunders is going to head over to the penalty box. And that will put Newfoundland down a player. And the power play opportunity for Alberta, trailing 3-0. Here with just over 9 to go in the third, an opportunity to try to get one back and begin their climb. Thrown to the net by Mafam. Now over to the far side. This is thrown into the middle. That gets intercepted, swept clear by a stick of a white sweater. They continue to dig for it. Trying to milk time off this penalty clock with 8.5 to go is Newfoundland, and there's just a bulldozing play. Sees bodies all over the place. And Alberta, on the power play, look more like they're having to just play keep away out of their own end to ensure that the forecheck does not pay dividends for this penalty kill unit. Arm is up, and icing is the call. And so the power play unit for Alberta heads back to their own end for the resumption of action with 8:07 to go. They work below the goal line. Alberta trying to move it ahead, but instead Newfoundland again brings it forward after a great read to break up the advancement. Up the wall, and that pops out of play, so the face-off will remain in the Alberta end. 7:45 to go in the game. Off the restart, Haley Ryan just couldn't get on the end of it. She's the one that scored the opener all the way back in the middle of the first period. Almost 10 o'clock here locally. 7:20 to play. A big scrum out of the corner. Now a third blue sweater joins the party. And the referee says that's not going anywhere, so let's blow that dead. We'll try it from the dot. And it looks as though a timeout is called. And Alberta will have an opportunity here to talk things over. 3 goals in the next 7 minutes and 16 seconds is what they need. Have to get something going offensively if they want any chance to climb back out of this one. And while 3-0 is certainly no easy task, it is not an insurmountable task, but the way that Newfoundland has been able to break up the charges into the attacking zone by Alberta, jump into the passing lane, prevent clearings from Alberta's defensive end with that strong forecheck. You have to say that if they get one back, that it may still be just as challenging to try to find anything more. Drovers wins the face-off back for Newfoundland, and then there comes the shot that goes up and out of play. And 7:12 to go. We'll try it again, as Alex Spencer was looking on goal. So they move the face-off back into the neutral zone after deciding what that puck came off and who it came off. Or excuse me, that ball, rather. We'll try that same face-off. And Alberta will try to sweep it ahead and across the red line, now the blue. 2-on-2 off the near side boards. This is rimmed around down low, but the first to get there is that 23 of Drover. Newfoundland playing strong defense out of their end as this is snapped over to the far side boards. Alberta able to maintain possession. Juggled just in between the blue and the red line. Out of the near side, looking to play it forward is Reese Mapham. Instead, it's the other way. Drover trying to backhand this over. She had her teammate in Butler, who had plenty of open space, if she was able to just spin that around to her, but they couldn't connect. Snapped into the middle. That's punched high into the air. A bouncing ball out in front. And it just will not go. Kicks back over. Juggled here by the 5 of Hardy. She tries to play it forward. Cuts past one defender, and then a second is able to sweep it to the wall. It kicks over. There's a quick turning shot that will not find twine. Or the 21 of McDonald. Three to nothing. Newfoundland still leads. Great break up there to reach in and at least prevent the advancement of Newfoundland for the time being by Hannison. Hannison having probably the best chance of the night for Alberta when she had that great sprint down and came in off the near side post and tried to snipe it in, but was denied by Jones. That rolls off the body of Traversy. Newfoundland continuing to set up. Just over 5 to go here in regulation. Trying to advance to 3-0 to start this tournament. Here's a nice little cut in front and just rolls away on the backhand transition from Simpson. And that will spring Alberta down the right-hand wing. A loose ball over to the near side. It can be fielded by Hiptich. Now Alberta steals it away. There's a slicing chance, and that misses wide on the opportunity for Babick. Babick again tries to throw it to the net, and that's off the end boards. Kicks over to the far wall and can be lifted forward but not out as getting a piece of it was Jorgensen, but it's out of play. Off the far side boards, Alberta will take it. Time really a factor here. They need 3 goals in less than 5 minutes. And goals have come with empty shelves right now as they continue to try to break the shutout. And then after that, which is first and foremost the #1 priority, then they can try to build on that. But right now, it's just put something into the back of the net because Maggie Jones, who, while she hasn't had the heaviest of workloads tonight, has answered the call each and every time. .352 to play. Kayla Robbins will try to win this face-off. She does, but in jumps a Newfoundland forward to prod this ahead into the attacking zone. They try to get the shot off, and it bounces back out to the red line. Jamie Guy throws to the middle. Traversy was down, sprawling around, trying to keep that out and prevent any further damage. We will see if Traversy gets the nod and when that occurs. So far, she remains in goal. Newfoundland takes it. They'll try to move it down this right-hand wing. 2:57 to play. A wrestling match sees Saunders take down the defender right in front of her. Out in front, that one will roll over to the far side corner. 2:40 now to go. Still 3-0. A 3-2 and an 8-1 win for Newfoundland, as there's a backhand save by Traversy. She takes it off the chest and will hold on for the faceoff with 2:23 to go. But a chance here to move to 3-0 with a 3-0 score line, barring any additional scoring. One laterally over to the near side boards. Picked up, high slot. There's a shot and a save made by Traversy to deny a quick sprinting chance by Julia Butler, who just worked across the slot to the just outside of that far circle and was able to pull the trigger, but Traversy was there to make the stop. 2:12 to go here in the game. And while Newfoundland likely trying to just hear that final horn, get to 3-0, and get ready for their game against New Tecumseh Extreme, who won 5-1 in the game just before this over Team Manitoba. Alberta is most certainly still playing to the fullest extent. No let off for them, and saying nothing is impossible, but first and foremost, let's break up this shutout. Slow trickler into the high slot and pinballing around, and stick raises. But but nothing across the line. Traversy looks in tight. That ball is poked away. They continue to swing at it through a whole host of bodies in front with 90 seconds left to go in the game. This is fed over to the far side, and it's up and out of play with 1:19 to go. Just over a minute to play. Alberta trying to move this forward. Can they find something to be a consolation prize of breaking up the shutout for Maggie Jones and Newfoundland? So far, their efforts have been to no avail. Streaking ahead, Simpson works down the left-hand side, tries to snap it to the middle. That takes a deflection and a breakup and is steered over to the near side boards. 40 seconds left to go in the game. Newfoundland's relentless offensive zone pressure, never letting up and giving Team Alberta any chance to really breathe, with the lone exception of a sort of a 4 or 5 minute span in the late stages of that second period. That is where we saw probably the best chances and the most offensive performances for this Alberta side. Other than that, it has been face-off after face-off, shot after shot coming in the Alberta defensive end with just about 28 seconds left to go. It's a solid all-around performance for Newfoundland. Just trying to take these final few moments to ensure perfection on the scoreline, as they will improve to their 3-0 record. Maybe even try to add more as they fire off a quick shot. Final 10 seconds. It's been a good one, just not enough offensive productivity. The chances were few and far between for Alberta. A plethora of them, and they were rewarded for Newfoundland, who improves to 3-0 in the tournament play.